Greetings, brothers and sisters within the Kingdom of England and Empire of Albion. It is I, your brother Dion de Belmont from the illustrious noble house of Belmont, as well as Archbishop of the Third Temple English Church of England. I'd like to give honors to our God, our Creator, our ancestors who have come and gone, to our kings and queens who have come and gone, as well as to our King Clifford Jefferson from the Royal House of Plantagenet, our Queen Lisa Jordan from the Royal House of Galveston, to the heirs, successors, to the trustees, to the members, as well as to your loyal subjects within the realm, as well as the righteous commoners out there who are doing good deeds and acts of kindness to try to keep things in balance and peaceful within the territory that they may be domiciling. Today is December 1st, 2974 of the Berber calendar, which is equivalent to your 2024 Gregorian calendar. And today's video is about Pluto transit in Aquarius for the year 2024 to the year 2044, which is once again of the Gregorian calendar. And the last time that Pluto transited Aquarius was in the year 1778 to the year 1798. So we are actually back in that same energy field in regards to what took place back then, maybe going to happen in this day and age now. My personal interpretation of this is back then it was the denizens, the subjects, breaking away from the British crown. We know the British crown was nothing more than the breakdown of the Kingdom of Scotland and the Kingdom of England into one, which is now called the Kingdom of Great Britain. And so these were the colonists as well as those folks who were breaking away from the King of Great Britain. Even though they still wanted to maintain their allegiance to him, they in essence wanted to break away from Parliament, who was being ran by foreigners who did not have the greatest intentions for those who were considered their subjects. And so now in this year and day and age, we see that the United States is doing the same thing to the subjects and the heirs from the Kingdom of England, Great Britain, that was taking place or happening to them back then. And so now, and my interpretation is the energy is going to flip in regards to the people going back to the monarchy, the true monarchy, the de jure King of England, which we know today is King Clifford Jefferson from the Royal House of Plantagenet. Not the British monarchies, who are de facto puppet heads. They don't have any power and control or position to come down to this bloodline being resurrected, because of we are the true heirs and the true constituents of the Kingdom of England, the territory that you are known as today as Great Britain. So I don't want to get too off into that subject. Let's go ahead and get into this video, Pluto transiting Aquarius 2024 to 2044.
It's a planet of transformation. When it transits a zodiac, astrologers see Pluto as a planet of transformation. When it transits a zodiac sign, it brings deep psychological changes and powerfully reshapes the areas of life associated with that sign. The transit of Pluto through Capricorn is a time of transformation in structures, authority, and governance, all themes associated with Capricorn. In 2024, Pluto will end its 16-year transit through Capricorn, moving fully into Aquarius, where it will remain for 20 years. In Aquarius, Pluto is expected to bring changes to technology, innovation, and humanitarianism. What can we expect during this transformative time? We can get a clearer understanding of what to expect during this paradigm shift by looking into history, into a time when people were not even aware of the existence of Pluto. It takes Pluto 248 years to orbit the Sun. The last time Pluto moved between the end of Capricorn and the beginning of Aquarius was in 1777 and 78. This was a powerfully pivotal time that marked a turning point in the American Revolution and in global history. At this time, Great Britain was the world's leading naval power and at a new peak in its colonial strength. After the 7 Years'
So as you can see, the most important part in the beginning of this is this is during the turning point of the American Revolutionary War, and the power, or the colonial power, who was in charge was the British monarchy, which in this case it was known as the British Empire. And the British Empire was nothing more than those who are took over the rights and the prerogatives of the Kingdom of England. So in this case, now that you can get an idea of what's taking place, is that the revolution is going to pretty much be those heirs who were succumbed to being placed in bondage after the American Revolutionary War are going to be rebirthed, utilizing that phoenix energy that Pluto is known for in regards to being rebirth or transformation. But I digress. Let's go ahead and continue to the rest of the video.
War, Britain had made great territorial gains. However, these gains had come at a cost. Not only did Britain struggle to pay for the victory on the back of British colonists, leading to a revolutionary movement, but European rivals looked for any means to upset the new balance of power. Everywhere, Europeans were also inspired by new philosophies calling for liberty, and the American Revolution showed Europeans it was possible to create a new world based on Enlightenment values, and many answered that call. One man seeking to follow his heart into this new world was the French Marquis de Lafayette. After meeting with America's ambassador to France, Benjamin Franklin, Lafayette was inspired to make an impulsive decision to live out his revolutionary dreams as a military leader in the American Revolution. In April 1777, not surprisingly with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius, Lafayette went against his king's orders and funded his own travel from France to America. By October 1777, it was clear that Pluto's turn back into Capricorn would be difficult for Great Britain, and Lafayette's decision to join the American cause seemed to make more sense to the French king. The American army under Horatio Gates had won an unexpected but hard-fought victory over the British forces led by General John Burgoyne at the Battle of Saratoga. This victory on October 17, 1777, was an important indicator of American strength, and it led France to formally ally with the Americans against Britain. The Spanish and the Dutch also recognized an opportunity to weaken Britain's domination in Europe.
So for those of you who don't know about the Hundred Years' Wars, or even anything regarding the war of the House of Valois and the House of the Royal House of Plantagenet, these wars with England and France, or the constituents of England and France, have been going on for a very long time. And as we can see, that France was funding the United States, because the United States, they didn't have any money. They, once again, remember, these are the rogue proprietors who were underneath the auspices or claiming to be subjects of the King of Great Britain. But in this case, we can see they were nothing more than traitors. But let's continue the video and see what else they have in store regarding this Pluto Transiting Aquarius.
Suddenly, the uprising in the colonies had turned into a global war for Britain. As Pluto vacillated between Capricorn and Aquarius, the American cause remained uncertain. News of the victory at Saratoga spread quickly, but global assistance was not immediate. The American forces were again tested during the harsh winter of 1777 and 78 at Valley Forge. Here, General Washington's troops built a temporary city of log cabins and monitored the British, who occupied Philadelphia about 20 miles to their northwest. Despite the difficult weather conditions, the American army gathered strength and transformed into a well-equipped and effective fighting force. Upon the suggestion of, again, Benjamin Franklin, General Washington brought in the experienced Prussian officer Baron Friedrich Wilhelm von Steuben as Inspector General of the Continental Army. Like Lafayette, Baron von Steuben had grown tired of the old order in Europe. Though he was one of the most innovative military commanders in the Prussian army, Europe's most feared fighting force, bias against the Baron's open homosexuality prevented his consistent employment. Benjamin Franklin knew Prussia's loss could be the colony's gain, and it was. Baron von Steuben's reform and training of the American forces bolstered their military capabilities and international standing, setting the stage for eventual victory in the War of Independence. Baron von Steuben implemented a new camp layout that emphasized sanitation to improve health conditions. He introduced simplified and effective drill techniques that could be easily learned by non-professional soldiers. He established clear guidelines for company organization and the chain of command, improved communication, and established guidelines for maintenance of equipment. His systematic reforms were printed in a book called Regulations for the Order and Discipline of the Troops, otherwise known as the Blue Book, from the color of its original binding. By the time Pluto was in Aquarius, this innovative publication was considered the official drill manual used by the troops, and it continued to be used well beyond the Revolutionary War. America's eventual revolutionary victory turned on decisions made and actions taken during Pluto's journey between Capricorn and Aquarius. Old structures, practices, and belief systems were under attack and crumbled during this time. But the old did not give away easily to the new. The turning point of the American Revolution shows us how unexpected alliances pulled together to create new communities built on diverse ideas and innovative thinking. During this pivotal era, the Continental Army survived, adapted, and learned hard lessons through Pluto's final degrees in Capricorn, and it innovated, collaborated, and implemented new practices as Pluto moved into Aquarius. Meanwhile, Britain's old colonial world was shattered and permanently altered as the American colonies fell away. As a new country was imagined and ratified in the United States, Great Britain let go of its old system. It wasn't long, however, before from that rubble, its own new empire began to take shape.
So as you can see that the transit of Pluto and Aquarius brings change. It brings transformation. During the time of 1778 to 1798, we saw that was the American Revolution. 1783, we saw that was the passing of the Treaty of Paris, which King George III relinquished his claim to the so-called colonies, and we know that was done under threat, duress, and coercion, but it was needed to necessitate expedient resolve in regards to the war that was taking place because there was too many casualties. So they had to come up with a new plan in regards to how to mitigate any further loss, and that's what the Treaty of Paris was created. And from yesterday's lesson, for those of you who have watched, know that those who are considered the prisoners of war, their descendants are also still prisoners of war because they were re-enslaved and placed in bondage after the war, even if they were free or not free, based off of the results of what was going down. All those people who are of copper complexion or dark skin, no matter what territory, was being re-enslaved. Now with Pluto transiting Aquarius, and the Aquarius also deals with liberation because he's a humanitarian. This is going to be the call to show those who are going to be liberated are those who pledging their allegiance right back to the de jure King of England, not the British monarchy, because on English soil there is no slavery. And once you trace your genealogy, you will see you are who you descend from. You just need to make that choice, and that choice can only be made by you regarding your salvation and placing yourself in a better position that you are in today. So once again, this video is about Pluto transiting Aquarius for 2024, 2044. There's going to be a lot of change that's going to be taking place. So hopefully you brothers and sisters buckle up, because we're going to be in for a ride for the next 20 years. For those of you who have been paying attention, please like, share, subscribe. You know, we need as much help and assistance as possible, as us being those long lost English heirs from the Kingdom of England, Great Britain. We're now finding our voice. We're finding ways to utilize this technology, this day and time, to pretty much start stepping out of our comfort zone, start vocalizing, letting the world see us once again, because the record has to be corrected. And the only way for the record to be corrected, they need to see heirs in the flesh operating as their predecessors who have come and gone. And we are the voice of those who have come and gone. So with that being said, please help us do this this divine work, this intellectual movement. Make sure you're taking care of your loved ones. Look out for those who need your assistance, as well as look out for the next video that should be coming along here momentarily. I'm going to try to keep these videos more scheduled, so therefore I can continue to keep doing my obligation and duty as a trustee and a loyal servant for our King, as well for those of you who are the recipients and successors of this magnanimous, illustrious kingdom we call home. Peace.